Oh, where am I? Where
Whoa,
am I?
Sandro.
Oh, hi. Do I know you?
Yes, you know me. We do a podcast together. It's called Oldie But a Goodie. It's where we go back and watch old movies from 1984 and then review them. But that doesn't matter right now. You're in a dream, and there's a giant snake man lizard monster out to kill you.
Wait, you've seen the Snake Man too?
Yeah, because I know you in real life, and we both watched this dumb movie, and it was great, alright?
Yeah.
But that's besides the point, okay? Oh God, there he is!
Oh, it's so scary. I'm scarred forever.
God, not the CGI Snake Man, no!
Oh, why is he moving like it's stop motion? Ah!
I love stop motion, it was great.
It was pretty good.
Welcome to Oldie But the Goodie, the show where we record a podcast in Sandro's dream.
That's right. We are going inside of my dream right now, which means if you're listening to this, somehow we've managed to send the audio file out of my head.
Well, you see, I dreamed there was a recording setup in your dream, and it was there, and we used that to record it, and then something translate to the real world. I played it out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I played it off memory. I just mimicked the audio perfectly.
So is it you doing both voices?
Yes.
So when I'm talking right now, it's actually you.
Yes, it's actually me doing an
Wow.
impression of you, but because it's a recording in my brain, I can do it perfectly. I can also do it perfectly in real life. I go, "Rah, rah, rah, I'm Sandro, I don't like fun."
That's like 2 levels deep now, because that's you doing an impression of you doing an impression of me for this
Oh my God.
podcast dream recording that we're doing.
Mind blown.
Blowing people's minds, just like how this movie probably blew our minds.
Whoa! Bring it all back. Yeah, it's Dreamscape. We watched a movie called Dreamscape.
Came out this week back in 1984.
I'm Zach, he's Sandro. If you
Oh,
haven't got
yeah.
the Sandro bit yet, what are you doing?
If you haven't got Zach yet, now you do.
Yeah, well, that bit might not have been obvious. Anyway, what did you think, Sandro?
This was great. This was
Yeah.
really good.
It was really good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It started off rocky,
Oh,
but then it really started to get into it, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted from this film.
the intro was so weird, because we'll get to it, but the dreams feel like Robert Rodriguez, like Shark Boy and Lava Girl level green screen
Yes.
work.
But that makes more sense in a dreamscape.
Exactly.
Because all of those feel like fever dreams. Now they're supposed to be.
Now they're supposed to be, exactly. It's so weird because it's the perfect blend between Firestarter and Nightmare on Elm Street, both of which
Yeah.
came out in 1984.
Which is bizarre.
Yeah.
You've got all three of them. You've got the one that's just flat horror, the one that's all about the real life psychic implications,
Yeah.
and then the one right in the middle, which is like the psychic and the dream. Yeah, we got horror, sci-fi, sci-fi.
I'm glad that you liked this because, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I looked at the audience score and it's very negative, and I went,
I was pissed reading the things because the positive ones that were like, this was a great movie, still rated it like 2.5. And I'm like, if you liked it, why did you rate it so low?
this does give off the vibe of it being like a super cheesy 80s sci-fi horror. So maybe just because it feels like that, people automatically went, well, it's trash. I enjoyed it, but it's trash.
Yes, that's what I got the consensus of the like reviews. Most people were like dismissing it as trash before they had even.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like compared to a lot of trash, this is good. So,
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really good.
your other options for this week may have also been good. One of them probably wasn't, and it's called Joy of Sex. National Lampoon movie based off the sex manual from the 70s about a teenager who's like, oh no, I'm dying. I'm going to go on a road trip and try and lose my virginity as quickly as possible.
As you do.
That film almost definitely hasn't aged well at all, and I'm glad you didn't pick it.
No.
There's also the Philadelphia experiment, which is set in the 40s, where a top-secret experiment aboard a Navy destroyer backfires and 2 of the sailors are propelled to 1984.
Which does sound interesting.
It does sound interesting. And then your other option was Grandview, USA, where Jamie Lee Curtis owns a demolition derby, and Zach. I finished watching Dreamscape, and I had some time to waste. So I watched it.
Oh!
went ahead and watched it.
What did you think?
It's nothing special. It's a very by the books, small town comedy drama.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
Jamie Lee Curtis, and she's like, "Oh no, my demolition derby's going to be shut down." And Patrick Swayze's like, "Hey, I love you." And then there's this teenager who also loves her and has these fever dreams where he's in a music video and she's dressed up like a pop star.
Okay then.
And he's also 18, I think, and then they sleep together and she's 27, which is a little weird, but yeah, it was a good movie.
Okay.
I'd give it a goodie, but like, it's okay.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be done better nowadays. But
Yeah, it's by the director of Grease.
so that's why it was bad. Got him.
Grandview USA. It's alright. Dreamscape released August 15th. It's directed and co-written by Joseph Rubin, who also directed a Julia Roberts hit called Sleeping with the Enemy, and a movie called The Good Son, which I've never heard of, but it sounds really interesting. It stars Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin, like both as kids. Except Macaulay Culkin, I think, kills Elijah Wood's dog, and he's like this psychopath kid that Elijah Wood has to then go and stop.
Oh.
So,
Okay then.
sounds kind of cool.
That sounds pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. I love Elijah Wood because he does that classic thing. It's the same thing with Daniel Radcliffe. You've done this giant series that literally no one will forget, and everyone you meet's gonna mention it. So you've done it. You've hit the big time.
Yeah.
So now you can just do wacky ass.
Yeah.
You don't go for money. You've got $1 million, whatever.
Exactly.
So you just do the wackiest garbage movies possible, and sometimes they're great.
Yeah, like you can go and do a movie where you play a dead corpse and your erection is a compass.
Yay! Are you talking about Swiss Army Man, the greatest movie to ever exist?
It's so good.
It's one of the best. And it's Daniel Radcliffe, this famous, super famous actor, literally doing nothing the whole film.
He gets carried around for the entire movie.
He's literally a prop.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, I love that film.
It's amazing.
You should also watch the director's latest movie, The Death of Dick Long. It's got a twist, and it's amazing.
Is it his dick is small?
I wasn't going to spoil it, but
Well, you said there was a twist, and the movie's called Dick Long.
that's not the twist. That is not the twist. The twist is rather beastly. That's all I'll say.
Ooh. Oh no. Don't like that.
It's a good film. It's very funny. But Dreamscape, it's also got a co-writing and story by credit by David Lowery, who wrote Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, the one that Shatner directed. And he also wrote this erotic horror film from 2013 called Nurse 3D.
I think I've seen that one before.
For the cast, Dennis Quaid is the lead. He plays a guy called Alex. He's in heaps of stuff, like Inner Space. I remember watching him in Dragonheart. Do you remember Dragonheart?
No.
It's bad. Don't go back to it.
Oh, okay, good.
It's a giant CGI dragon that smiles and talks.
Oh no. It's terrifying.
It's also in The Parent Trap as well. And then we've just got heaps and heaps of, like, really well-established older actors from the 70s and 60s.
Yeah. I noticed. I was like, hey, I know a lot of these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even though I'm not a boomer, I can recognize some of these old people.
Max von Sydow, he plays Dr. Paul. He's Father Merrin in The Exorcist, which is, like, an incredible role. He's also the three-eyed raven in Game of Thrones.
He's really good.
Christopher Plummer is in this. He's Bob, the government guy. Of course, he's Sound of Music. Probably best known for that. He's great. And then playing the president is Ebby Albert, another guy who's just in everything.
He was alright. He didn't get too much of the talk. I guess he did. I like that he's scared of nukes and stuff. I've had that dream before. The nuke dream before.
The nuke dream.
It was not a fun dream.
No.
I'll tell you that. But it was more like the very first dream we see in the movie, which we'll get to.
I love that dream. That was very good.
It was great.
Yeah.
But also, I was like, yep, I've had that dream. It was not a fun one.
Ah.
I could relate to this movie. I was like, hey, this movie's right. It instantly got me in, which was cool.
Fun bit of trivia for you. This is the first time in any film we have done on this podcast where we have on screen a shirtless president.
Is it?
Yeah, haven't done a film before that's had a shirtless president in it, and in this film, the president's shirtless.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Sandro. I'm glad you're here to give us the straight facts.
Fun trivia. David Patrick Kelly plays Tommy, the, I guess, antagonist in this. He's also the antagonist in The Warriors, which is a pretty fun cult film, and I know him well as Jerry Horn in Twin Peaks, where he's very funny. He's also in The Crow from last year as well. He was in that. And then finally, Kate Capshaw plays Jane. She's, of course, Willie in Temple of Doom. And I think she's better in this.
Yeah, definitely better in this, I feel. Like, it's not her fault. I just think Willie was just like, oh, I'm a damsel in distress sort of thing.
I'm going to scream at everything.
Yeah, the screaming doesn't help. Like, at least in this one, she didn't even scream when she found the dead body of her boss, which we'll get into.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the prime time for her to do some screaming.
Yeah, they do the typical 80s thing, which I don't like, in which the main character completely invades her privacy and she's totally cool with it.
Yeah.
But, aside from that, she's pretty good.
But Sandro, it's a dream, so is it okay? Is it not? They don't know.
I think we do, though. Anyway, The reception for this, 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is based off 31 reviews, so that's pretty good. Usually...
That's a lot of good critic reviews.
Yeah, it's a lot of good ones. And then for the audience score, 46%.
I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked, and reading the reviews hurt me. And one of the reviews was like, I looked at the poster, and this was nothing like the poster. Yep, you weren't wrong on that one.
The poster's pretty awful.
It sets such a different expectation, which is really dumb.
If you don't know, the poster is kind of like a mix between Indiana Jones and the Ice Pirates poster. It feels more like an adventure movie from the 40s or 50s, and not a sci-fi from the 80s, which is very much what this is, and those are the expectations you should go into it with. But anyway, this costs $6 million, which is reasonably cheap, but, not the cheapest in the world. What do you think it made in America?
6 mil. I'm gonna say 40?
It didn't do too well.
Ooh, 15.
Or a little less.
14?
Like 2 less than that.
Oh, I don't know, 12, Sandro?
Yeah, 12 million.
Wow! I can't believe I got it after you blatantly told me.
So it made double, which is alright.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not great. It's not like the ones that get remade because they're gonna make millions.
But I think it has been getting a lot of releases on Blu-ray and DVD and stuff like that.
It's on Netflix, so apparently a lot of people viewed it on Netflix.
Well, let's just jump into the movie. The font.
Oh yeah, the font was alright. It wasn't anything special. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the typical white font on black background for the credits.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's nothing like crazy. They didn't go like, oh, we're gonna have our own original font for this movie sort of thing. It was okay. It was nothing special. It wasn't an eyesore, that's for sure.
Well, you say that, but the font they use for the title of the movie, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a bunch of shadows.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I forgot. I wrote it down here. Yeah, it is, interesting.
Yeah, the font kind of rises out of these shadows, the supposed floor.
It's like he's dreaming, but it's a nightmare, I think, coming to fruition.
The music is like... do 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 do.
Yeah, it's great. I love the
cool.
music in this movie.
Oh yeah, the music's incredible. Love it. Love that 80s synth.
And that's what someone was commenting. It's like, I love this movie, but the synth music was bad. I was like, what? You love the movie, but you didn't like the synth music?
That's the whole point of these films from the 80s.
It's a
cool
sci-fi.
synth.
What? What?
To be fair, the soundtrack of Firestarter was better, I think, and this did feel like it was just a pretty run-of-the-mill synth soundtrack. But I still loved it.
Oh yeah, the music in Firestarter was definitely better, but I don't know if I liked this one more or less than Firestarter. I'm really torn.
Like as a movie or as a soundtrack?
Oh, the movie, not the soundtrack. The soundtrack was clearly better in Firestarter.
Yeah, for sure. But as a movie,
I might like this movie better, but
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to think on that. I've got no idea which one I would rate higher. But anyway, the first dream sequence is pretty amazing. You mentioned it before.
Yeah, it's got a lady just having a stroll. Oh, there's a big old explosion behind her, and she's screaming. Oh dear, it's a nuclear bomb in the background, just...
Yeah.
And this very not CGI'd onto a green screen lady. They're definitely not happening.
She's definitely not running on a treadmill.
Yeah. She's got her arms out and she's like, help me! I'm about to die from a big explosion. Blah.
Turns into a skeleton and then says blah
Yeah, and goes blah.
while looking right at the camera.
Which was really weird.
It was a bit. Yeah, it's good. The green screen, I don't know if I would... It is bad. It's bad green screen, but it adds to the dreaminess of it.
This is the only time that the green screen was really pulled out, though. A lot of it was just stop motion, as you said.
Yeah. Oh, there's the point where he falls off a building, which was...
Oh, yeah, that was green screen as well. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
But aside from that, yeah, it's mainly just...
They don't use it liberally in the dreamscape, which is, I thought, what they were going to do. But I actually thought the dream effects were pretty good.
They are good. Yeah, they're very well done.
For the time, obviously.
The color, like, it's all very red for the most part in most of the dreams.
It's very orangey red, sort of like the intro that gets you in there is just like a Windows desktop background.
Yeah.
Of orange, like, swirls that sort of swirls you in, and then you're in the dreamscape. I really liked the dream aspect. I thought that was one of the best parts of this movie, which is good, because that's, like, the whole point.
It's the whole point
of the movie.
I can see why someone might say, yeah, it's about dreams, but they only spend 10 minutes of screen time inside dreams, which is true.
Yeah, I wish they would have done more, but it's not all about the dreams.
No, it's not.
What's happening outside the dreams.
And a possible conspiracy, which I very much enjoyed. I thought the conspiracy was very cool. Oh yeah, and it turns out this opening dream is the president's dream, because he's scared of nuclear war. Yeah.
Yep.
Which was really good. I liked that reveal, and it's a good way to write it.
Yeah. It was a classic sort of intro. Your intro with something random, and then it's like, oh, it's a dream. Oh, thank God.
Except in this one, it's not a cop-out, because the movie's literally about dreams.
Yes. So... yeah. It's not like 90% of other movies, where literally it's just a random dream sequence for no reason.
Yeah.
This is a dream sequence that plays a big role in the story. It's kind of vital to the plot.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Refreshing.
So we're introduced to Alex Garland, our main character. He's a telekinesis, but he's also got other abilities.
Yes, we're told by the head of the psychic division or whatever the frick he does. He's like, yes, Alex, but then he pissed off like a dickhead.
Yeah, he ran away in the middle of the tests they were doing on him.
Didn't want to be prodded and probed, which I guess is fair.
He does say that, which was pretty good.
Well, it's good. I like his character's great. It's like, I am the head of the psychic division. I do all these tests, other things, but I'm also just a dude. I'm a guy.
Yeah. So his name is Paul. All of the names in this movie are very white. There's Alex, Paul, Bob, Eddie, Jane, Tommy.
I didn't realize till you pointed it out now. Yes, but this is a very, very white man movie.
I just called him the Doctor in all my notes, but yeah, his name is Dr. Paul. He's good. Yep. I like him a lot. Very likable.
You see, inside the dreamscape, it's bigger on the inside than it is on
Boo.
Understandable.
And this guy in a suit is like, oh, I'm going to go get Alex alive or alive.
Yep, because he's not going to kill him.
We cut to Alex. He's at a racetrack and he's watching stock footage of horse races.
But Alex, he's not exactly the best friend maker. I wrote in my notes, Alex makes no friends at the racetrack.
He does make no friends.
But he does manage to predict a random horse that just breaks out at the last minute, and he manages to psychically predict it.
The horse's name is High Compression.
That's a great name.
So he wins the money and he goes and cashes in. And I love this quote because he's there getting his money and he says, "You know, I love Benjamin Franklin. Discovered electricity, you know."
Yep.
Great, thanks. Thanks, mate.
Great to know. Yeah, that is a random line. I don't know why he said that.
Well, because Franklin's face is on the notes that he's getting.
Oh, the note. That makes way more sense now that you've explained it.
Oh, you thought that he was just saying the name?
Yes, I thought he was just saying, "I love Ben Franklin. He got electricity." It made no freaking sense to me. It literally made no sense. I was like, "What is he talking about?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he gets chased by...
Yeah, there's a couple of goons that are like, "Hey, you're really good at predicting things. Predict things for us, idiot." And he's like, "No."
So he goes and hides in the women's bathroom, and we see this older lady walking out of the bathroom being like, "Oh, it's not safe in them damn toilets anymore." Which is good.
It's great. Don't you hate it when you're chilling in the bathroom and then some guy running away from some jocks busts into a stall?
The toilet thing does come back, though, because he's got all the money in this bag.
Yeah, all his winnings from his stuff.
And then eventually these guys catch up to him and grab his bag, thinking that the money is still in there. But while he was in the toilet, he filled it up with toilet paper.
Yep, he replaced all the money with toilet paper. He swapped it out, which is big smart, because he's a smart boy.
Then he goes home and plays saxophone, which only comes back once in a very funny scene.
It's great, though. It's still, at least it comes back.
It does come back. I wish that it was maybe in there a little bit more.
You liked the saxophone. That's fair.
I like the saxophone. It's
It was
good.
good.
The saxophone does play a lot in the soundtrack, though. Like, it comes back as an instrument during the movie, but he's not playing it
I like
necessarily.
the sax. It was good. Yeah, we could have had more sax.
Thought you were going to say more sex for a second,
Nope.
and I was like, just you wait. It's coming up.
Oh, it's coming.
It's in this movie.
Yep. Or in your dream.
Ooh.
Or their dreams, because they're having dream sex.
And it's probably problematic, but, you know,
Yeah, well...
it was a different time.
It was a different time, but also... She consented, I think? I'm not sure.
She didn't consent to him entering the dream.
No.
But then she's very angry afterwards. Yeah, we'll get to that when we bloody get to it. Just you wait. The guys from the college, they rock up and Alex hops in the car with them and we go to the college and it's the whitest college you've ever seen.
It is pretty white.
It's a very white college.
That's it. It's a very white college. It's just a college. He makes a joke. He goes like, "Oh, did my mother set you up on this? That forced me to complete my college graduation by any means?" Which I thought was dumb, but great.
Exactly, because he ran away when he was 19. That's the context
Yep.
there. Also, he's meant to be 24 in this movie, but he looked a lot older. Did he look
don't know.
24 to you?
I think he looked... I would have gone for more like 26, 27.
Yeah.
Maybe. Look, once again, this is a thing of Sandro being like, he doesn't look like that.
My thing is, I do give them leeway in the age department unless they point out their age, and then from then onwards, I can't stop thinking about it.
Oh, right. Well, that's fair, I guess.
Yeah, like if they didn't point out exactly how old he was, it,
Still,
it wouldn't matter.
Of all the things, I think he didn't look so bad.
Yeah, compared to a lot of other stuff we've seen.
Yeah, that we've seen, yeah. Like, I could believe that he's that young. I'm thinking he looks pretty old for his age, but
Yeah.
apart from that...
That's another good thing I can say about the movie Grandview USA, because the 18-year-old guy in that looks 18, which does make it creepier when he sleeps with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Great.
But he looks
Great
18.
to know, Sandro. So glad you're here to tell us all these fun facts, Sandro.
Fun facts, Sandro. That's my name. That's what they call me.
Not a single person ever in their life, until now.
Until now. Well, I wasn't doing fun facts until now, though, so it's fair enough.
Yeah, you're
really.
right. Are you now fun fact, Sandro?
I am
Is that
now.
your thing now?
That's my thing now. If you want a fun fact, just ask me.
All right, give us another fun fact then, Sandro.
I don't have any.
And it's gone. You've
It's
already
gone.
failed your legacy.
It was fun while it lasted. Guess we'll move on with the movie. He meets Jane, and she's like, "We're studying dreams."
And he's like, "I'm gonna study your dreams, if you know what I'm saying."
Yep. She also explains that part of the reason they're doing this research is because of sexual dysfunction in men. And
Yep.
if it's physical or not, because if you dream, you get an erection. It's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing.
Yep.
And so he says,
So what your job is here is that you count bonus.
that's what he says.
Yep.
And it's the bachelor party thing where they spent like a minute setting up this bad joke. Because it doesn't come back ever again.
It's great. It's just this one joke for no reason at all.
He's looking around the facilities and he sees the sleep chamber, which looks really cool. I love the design in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, who was your designer? Darth Vader.
Yeah, because it looks like it looks like Darth Vader's throne room in Empire Strikes Back. It's got the
It does
things
look
on the
like
walls. And it makes it look all Star Warsy.
It is very funny that he says that. That was a good joke. I was like, that's pretty good. Because
Fun.
it does look very Star Wars.
Hey, this just in. Fun fact, Sandra's back. I got a fun fact for you.
Whoa, he's alive. I thought he was dead, but he's back.
In the movie Grandview USA, there's a car as a part of the demolition derby. It's called Darth Vader. Did you want to know why it's called Darth Vader?
Because that's a cool name for a car.
No, it's got this like paper mache thing of Darth Vader on the top of the car that does nothing and falls off immediately as soon as the car starts driving.
Oh, that's so bad.
Fun facts.
Can you not talk about that movie?
It's good. It's a good movie.
I doubt it now. Every time you mention something about it, it gets worse, not better.
You had to be there, honestly.
Be there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he runs into Dr. Paul, and Dr. Paul's like, "Oh, you're using your talents for money and women. You gotta use them for good."
Gotta help science.
So they go to a bar.
And then he's like, all right, now that I've said my mind, because he's great. He's like the best dad. He's like, he tells you what he thinks. He's telling you what, and then he takes you out for a drink.
Exactly.
He's like, you're wasting your life. You're not doing it right. You should be right. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go get a drink, eh?
Yeah. Paul's like, we want to put you in people's dreams, and you can help them sort out nightmares or find out what people's worries are, and we can yeah, it's clever. Actually, I quite like it.
It's cool.
All right, I love this. There's this kid at the college, very young. I'd say probably between the ages of 8 and 12.
Yep.
He's having recurring chronic nightmares about a snake man, as he calls it, and they send in one of their new telepaths into his brain. Not Alex, another new recruit, and this telepath, he's trying to figure stuff out, but it doesn't work. And when the kid wakes up, this telepath, he's left in like a vegetative state or something. His mind is gone, it seems.
Roasted.
Which is a cool idea, that you can die in someone else's dream. Or like your mind can get trapped in someone else's dream.
Yeah. No other movie has ever explored diving into people's dreams to change reality and then getting stuck in them forever.
Definitely not.
God, I wish there was another high-budget sci-fi movie that involved that. Oh well.
It's very original.
I'm just saying, someone may have stole some ideas from this movie. This movie was very, there was a lot of, Inception-feeling moments in it, which is kind of interesting, so it could have inspired some...
And it also inspired the green screen styling of Sharkboy and Lava Girl, so good on it.
Yep.
Inspired a lot, this movie.
No, that was just the fever dream he had.
Oh. They've got this kid, and Alex is like, I might want to help this kid, but I'll do that later, because first he's got to train. So he's getting ready to train. He meets Tommy, who's the first guy to ever dream link with someone.
Oh my god, no. He's getting ready by having a shower and getting naked while he's doing that. Outside his room, he hears his saxophone being played.
I love this thing.
Except, it really bad.
It's awful.
Like, being played by someone who doesn't know how to play a saxophone. So he leaves the shower, he comes out, and he sees this guy playing his saxophone.
Yeah.
First off, gross and unsanitary. That's a saxophone.
100%.
And he's just getting his face and lips all over that. Gross.
Yeah.
Second off, he doesn't know how to play the saxophone at all. He's just tooting with it. He's just going, Ree!
It's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds awful.
It's really bad. And then he's like, you make music with this thing?
Yeah.
And we're like, what an asshole. And then he tries on his jacket.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, I could really get some ladies in this thing. And he's like, yep, bet you could, bud.
Tommy is the absolute worst, but because he's played by this particular actor, he's kind of charmingly awful. Like,
I disagree. He's just awful.
okay. I really
it was
like
charming
the actor,
because the other guy was tolerating him somehow.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know why he wasn't decked.
He refers to himself as the Neil Armstrong of dreams, which I thought was funny.
That was very funny.
I'm the first guy.
He is very good. He's very good in this movie.
Yeah.
But like he plays this complete asshole.
I just love the fact that there's a scene in this where the main character plays sax really well, and then the antagonist plays sax absolutely awful.
Absolutely, it's great.
I love that exists. I think it's good. Much like last week, it's actual awful music, not good music that the movie's telling us is awful.
Yeah.
See that?
Which is always a plus.
See that, movies? It's good.
Yeah, anyway, we're introduced to him. He's like part of the first group of psychics they got in to do this. He was one of the two people in there, except the other one's just got into a comatose state, so he's the only one left. And the guy's like, shame that guy left in a casket. I'll get a casket for you, though. You're an asshole, and you hate competition because you want to be the only one.
Yeah, so Alex, then he goes and does his first... What's the term they use? Dream... Oh, yeah, dream linking. That's it.
Yes, which is they hook these machines up to you, and they're like, into his dreams. No other movie has ever done a machine hookup where people go into the dreams to change things in the dreams before. Not ever explored ever again after this movie.
Never done ever.
So he goes into this dream of the steel worker. And then they're up on a high building.
Yes.
After going through the Windows background of orange.
Yeah, whenever you enter a dream, you kind of go through a tunnel of different colors.
It's the Doctor Who tunnel if it was orange. You're like, whoosh.
That's exactly it. Except the music is creepy.
Yeah. Instead of like do do do, it's like do 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 do.
Yep.
Evil. Look out for Snake Man.
Sure.
That's exactly how it is.
Okay. I love the visuals on this building, though, because the sky is super sped up. The clouds are moving by ridiculously fast, and it just adds to the weirdness and the dreamness of it all.
Yeah, no, but that makes sense. That feels more dreamy, that this weird, like, cloud, like, time is all wiggly and wobbly. Yeah. Wibbly wobbly.
Timey-wimey.
Timey-wimey, as it were. Cause like, I've done it in a dream before, where you check a good way to tell if you're in a dream, to get that, like, what's it called? Where you're aware of your surroundings in the dream.
Oh, like lucid dreaming.
Yeah, lucid dreaming is to like look at a timepiece or something.
Yeah. And
then look at it again, because it will immediately change to something else.
Exactly.
Or like look at text and then look at it again, it will just change. It just doesn't stay the same. So they're on this high up building, and the steel worker, he's working the steel, and then he sees the protagonist. He's like, hey, is that the protagonist over there? And he's like, yeah, I am. And then he's like, the protagonist is like, oh my god, look out for that steel beam that you're not paying attention to.
Yeah.
And then the other guy's like, whoa!
It's the thing we've got to overcome in this sequence, protagonist.
Yes.
They just use all these film terms. It's very strange.
He's like, help me, protagonist! I'm about to have no consequences from this fall, but it's a moment that's happening in the scene. Help! And the protagonist is like, I'm a hero! I have to help!
It's a part of my hero's journey. This is the first time I show growth.
And so he jumps onto the steel bar and tries to pull the guy up. But as he's pulling the guy up, the shirt rips.
Oh, no.
And he falls.
He falls.
Whoa!
To his supposed death.
Yeah, no, and then he dies, and that's the end of the film.
Yeah.
Although, if he hadn't been woken up during the scene, would he have just died?
Yeah, he would have hit the ground and died, because if you die in a dream, you die in real life.
Yes.
So, yeah, actually, if he hadn't woken up just before hitting the ground, yeah, he 100% would have died.
I mean, you always do that in your dreams, but if you didn't, would you just die?
I think so.
Is this what this movie's saying? Because he literally almost died. Because we know for a fact later on that people die in their dreams.
Yeah.
So he literally could have died if he hadn't been taken out at that moment. That's interesting, because they're very lighthearted about it. They're like, oh my god, it felt so real. That was crazy.
And he's like, wow, that was so cool. I want to do that again. Yeah.
And then the other guy is like, oh, I'm jealous because I want to be the only good guy here.
Grr, I'm Tommy. I'm gonna... Grr.
I murdered my dad. Rah.
Spoilers. Yeah, he did. He's a bad dude, probably.
Yep.
No, he is. He's definitively the
That's
villain.
up to the opinion.
So, after this dream experience, Alex goes to rest, and while doing so, he meets Bob, government man Bob, who reveals that this is all actually funded by the government itself. And Alex is like, I didn't sign up to be a part of no government experiment. What is this? What's going on? And Bob is like, yeah, it's the government, man. Come on, what are you gonna do? You gotta help us out.
Yeah. What did you expect, idiot?
Yeah. I'm training you to be an assassin for the CIA. What do you want?
What? Excuse me, what was that?
Nothing. I said I'm training you to be fashionable for the thing coming up soon.
What?
Yep.
The parade?
Exactly.
And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I love parades. Anyway, bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm the villain of this movie. Bye.
The next day, Alex goes to talk to Nightmare Kid, and Nightmare Kid's great. This actor is incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best child actors we've had, because they don't have much scenes.
But like in the scenes, the kid is so great at portraying emotion on his face. Like you can tell that he's terrified of these dreams all throughout this movie until they defeat the bad thing in the dreams.
The Snake Man.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna help you out, kid. I'm gonna go on your dream. We're gonna defeat these nightmares.
And he's like, cool thing, friendo. I would like Snake Man to die.
Yep.
Because there's a Snake Man. By the way, spoilers. Snake Man.
Snake Man? Snake Man's great. I love Snake Man.
Everyone loves Snake Man. Do you know what I like?
What?
Snake Man 2.
What's Snake Man 2? Oh, wait, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Snake Man 2 was very cool.
And Snake Man 3, I was like, they made him wear that.
Snake Man 3 is perhaps the most ambitious Snake Man, and also the most ambitious movie in the movie, and it could have failed, but they pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you might be thinking of Snake Man 4, but I'm thinking of Snake Man 3, because Snake Man 3 is where he reverts to half
That's what I was thinking, yes.
normal. Okay.
Yes.
Snake Man 4 is the one at the very end.
Snake Man 4 was not my favorite.
It was more a Lizard Man.
Yeah, it was more Lizard Man. Snake Man
And it was
3...
just we just saw the head. We didn't get much. Possibly a sequel. Don't know.
We'll talk about that later, I guess. But in the meantime, another President Dream.
President Dream.
The nuke goes off.
This President Dream is like, whoa.
It's spooky, man.
It's very creepy. I was taken out. I was like, this is genuinely upsetting.
Yeah.
I was genuinely not... This is a scary dream.
That's the thing about this movie, is it's so cheesy and so 80s, but then the dreams are like quite real.
Unsettling? Yeah. It was very unsettling.
It definitely was. So this dream is the nuke goes off and we see the
Nuke Town.
We see the city, the town that has been affected
Fallout.
by this nuke. It's all red. It's all glowing.
Post-apocalyptic, crumbled buildings, rubble everywhere.
And we hear the voice of the dead children crying out, "Why did you blow us up? What did you do? What's happening?
Dab on the haters."
Oh. And we follow the voices into a building. And then into the building we go through a door.
Okay, boomer.
And there's zombie kids.
They all spring out and go, blah.
We're zombie kids and you killed us, Mr. President. And Mr. President's like, oh boy, that was a spooky dream.
Yep, he wakes up and is like, that's a bit rough.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a stiff one after that. All right.
Excuse me.
Get some whiskey.
Oh, right. That's what you meant by stiff one. Wow.
Look, it was a wet dream, but wet in the sense that he was
Oh,
sweating.
no.
No, he was just sweating a lot. That's why it was
Yep.
a wet dream. Anyway, the president is like, that's a spooky dream. And then he goes and talks to Bob and reveals to Bob that he thinks these dreams are a message to him saying that he should try and cooperate with the Russians to end this Cold War and come up with like a disarmament deal for both of them so no one has nukes anymore.
That sounds like a great idea, honestly.
Yes. And Bob's like, oh, but you can't do that. No, war's good. War's good for our economy. I'll make lots of money from war. You can't do that. What are you talking about, Mr. President? I'm going to kill you. I mean, what?
Huh? You gotta do what now?
I'm going to krill you. We're going to go deep sea diving. Go meet some krill.
Krill?
Yeah. Going to go swimming. Go see some krill. You've always wanted to do that, haven't you, Mr. President?
No.
Go scuba diving. Be like, hi, krill. How you doing? Hope you don't get eaten by a whale later.
Wow, that's a mean thing to say to some krill.
And the krill are like, what? No. I don't want to die.
Can we move on from this?
What's a whale?
And then the whale's like, oh. And the krill's like,
But you just told me the whales can kill me, and that's good information. I'm gonna go away. And then that krill lives and is still alive to this day.
where the other ones, he's in the whale and he's like, I'm stuck in the whale.
The other krill's like, I can't get you out. Sorry, fellow krill.
I'm literally dying in here, man.
We will remember you.
Yeah, we can't exactly help. We're krill.
We don't have any hands. Can't open up the whale's mouth.
Yeah, that'd be impossible.
That would be impossible.
This was a bit. Anyway.
This is the weirdest bit ever.
Yeah, but it featured the best thing. Krill!
Woo!
Woo!
Oh, this next dream sequence is hilarious. As you mentioned, like the dreams in this movie feel like dreams, and none of them feel more like dreams than this one, I think, because it's so weird and off.
So you're in a house, Sandra. You're in a house, and there's a child.
Oh no, wrong dream. This
Wait.
is the sex dream.
Oh, this is this one. Oh, yep, nope. I skipped over sex dream. Oh, thank God we didn't miss on the sex dream. So imagine you're a woman and you go to bed. You fall asleep on the couch, and then a guy walks into your
Wrong
house.
dream. This is the dream of the guy who sleepwalks.
Oh, right. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I forgot that dream entirely. I didn't even write it down in my notes. Whoops.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I was busy watching the movie because I was like, this scene's great. So instead, you're in a car. And you're driving along and the guy's like, all right, you ready?
Oh, yep.
Yep, cool. All right, so you're going to go in the back of the house. I'm going to go in the front. And be quiet, all right? I want to make sure we surprise her.
Okay.
And so you're driving along. You have no idea. You're like, oh, I've just popped into this dream to help this guy.
Yeah. What's happening?
Oh, it feels very real. He pulls up and he's like, all right, the house is just down the block down there. I want to make sure she doesn't see the car. So you creep along the street. And then you get to the house and it's like, all right, you're going through the back, I'm going through the front, we'll meet in the middle, That's the plan.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
Wait,
be
hang
careful.
on. I can hear something in the house.
He moves in to the house while the sound gets louder.
What is that? It sounds like someone's yelling.
Yep. Anyway, they go through the house till they get to the stairs. Climb up these stairs. The stairs are red. Everything's turning red again.
Things turning red, yeah.
And then they burst into the bedroom. Oh my God! You're cheating on me! As he sees his wife cheating on him with his brother.
With his brother. And in front of the children, we pan over and their two kids watching.
They're on lawn chairs. And not only that, underneath the bed, there's all his golfing buddies. And behind the curtains is the local Chinese grocery man.
Yep.
This was a scene.
It's so funny because it does feel like a dream, and it sells you on it. It's ridiculous. In front of the children, that moment is so... It's just like,
the children. And then they're just sitting there like, I don't know what I'm watching.
yeah.
They're just sitting there like blank stares, like what is happening?
And then we get out of the dream, and Paul's like, "Oh, he's got inadequacy issues. You know, he feels like he's not a great man. You know what I mean?" And Alex
Yeah, that
is
was
like,
kind of obvious.
"No, I don't know what you mean. I never suffer these things. I'm Alex." Anyway, let's do the nightmare. Kid's nightmare.
So now that he's done the successful procedure, he's like, "Oh, I've got to help this kid now that I'm good at doing these dreams." And he's like, "No, you can't help." And then he's like, "I'm gonna help." And then the guy's like, "Okay."
So he goes into this kid's dream, and the first thing he sees is that he's inside a house, and it's not a normal house because everything's crooked. The windows are slanted, the doors, everything's slightly off, and the kid's there, and the kid's going, "Oh no!
"Oh, hi, it's me. I'm a kid. I'm scared. Help.
Oh, help me, sir!"
Oh, please, sir. Can I have a bit of help killing the monster?"
And Alex is like, "There is no monster. Don't be ridiculous."
"What the fuck do you mean, love? We've literally been talking about this monster outside the dream for like half this movie."
And this is what Alex does. Alex is like, "There's no monster," even though that's the reason he's in the dream.
I guess he's trying to help the kid, like convince there's no monster, you don't have to worry.
Anyway, a hand breaks through a window and grabs the kid.
"Ah, help me, Nick! He's gonna twist me neck off, pop my head off."
What? What? Excuse me?
He's gonna twist my neck. Help!
Oh, I thought you were saying something else.
What are you doing? Stop misconstruing the words I say and help me.
So they run away from this hand, and the body belonging to the hand jumps through the window, and it's a giant snake man.
Giant snake man.
How would you describe Snake Man? Again, it's the picture you're looking at right now if you're listening to the episode, so you can see it for yourself. But how would you describe him?
So imagine a man, but a snake.
Yep. Cool. Yep. That's it. That's it. That's Snake Man.
There's your audio visual representation in the podcast. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it's like a snake, but it's got like human arms, legs, and torso, body.
Yep.
But it's got a tail.
It's got a tail, and
then it's got a very snake head.
Yeah.
Like it's a cobra head. But later on, Snake, it's got a human head.
Snake.
With
That cool boy. That was cool.
That was a fun time.
And it's pretty obvious that it's stop motion, similar to like the dogs in Ghostbusters, but they hide it pretty well. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, and it also works more as a dream.
Yeah.
Stop motion is a nightmare.
Exactly. Oh, I love the moment where they're running away from the snakes and they've got to go down this just long, twisting staircase into a void of nothingness. That was such a cool visual.
Yeah, it was very cool, actually. I agree. Because he's got these winding staircases. There's also the dad, which is quite rather funny.
Oh, yeah, the kid's dad is in the dream.
Which is like, they pass him by and he's like, "That's my dad. He won't help." And he's like, "Damn well I won't, you piece of shit."
He does say that. Yeah, it's great.
And then the dad gets eaten because he won't do anything, which is amazing.
They run away from Snake Man for a bit and then get cornered in a room. And Alex is like, "All right, kid, you gotta do it. You gotta face the Snake Man. I'm Bear Grylls, and this is how we survive."
So he drinks his own piss.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
And then he jumps on the Snake Man, wrestles him to the ground. Well, not to the ground. He just kind of wrestles him rather poorly, in fact. The Snake Man looks like he can still move pretty well.
Yeah.
But he's got him. And the kid's like, "Oh, yeah, it's shovel time."
Yep, the kid grabs...
trusty shovel, and disembowel him.
The kid gets a shovel and, just, like, swings at his stomach and all the stomachs come out. And then the kid is like, "Can't be sure something's dead if its head's still attached."
Yep.
So it decapitates the Snake Man.
And Snake Man head goes for 6. It's a home run.
And Alex is like, "Good job, kid."
You really decapitated that snake monster.
With a shovel. And then they hug, and it's like, oh, that's nice, because the kid's like, you saved my life, mister. I can never repay you.
And then he's like, I didn't save your life. This was a dream, idiot.
And then the kid's like, oh no!
Oh no!
And then the kid wakes up, and he's still in a dream, because it's a nightmare within a nightmare. And the nightmare is this movie.
Oh, except the movie's more like a pleasant dream because it's a good movie.
Exactly. Then the kid just watches the movie and is like, this sure is a good movie.
Yep.
I'm going to be one of the 43% of Rotten Tomatoes that give it a good rating. Let's get back to the main plot. Alex is at a bar, and this guy approaches him who's like a horror fiction author. And the author tells Alex that Government Bob is actually working for covert intelligence, and he suspects that Bob is up to something nefarious, potentially training these telepaths to be assassins for him and go into dreams and kill people.
That sounds like it could happen.
And then he goes back to the building and he enters Jane's apartment. He wants to see what Jane's up to, and she's sleeping on a couch.
She's having a sleep. So what would you do if you saw a sleeping woman on a couch?
I would be like, oh great, I'm glad she's getting some rest. I'm leaving. And then I'll leave the room.
Yep. Well, how about I go into her dreams and bang her?
That doesn't sound good.
No, but that's what the movie thinks should happen.
And yeah, that happens, and then they wake up and she's like, what did you do? And he's like, it was a dream, it didn't count.
It's weird because it was a dream, but also wasn't very consensual.
No. And then he tries and deflects it by being like, but do you see what happened? I dream linked without the machine. And she's like, great, that's awesome. And like, she's super happy. It's a breakthrough. So yeah.
Yeah. So, distracting her from the fact that he did a bad one.
Did a bad thing. Speaking of doing bad things, Bob sure is getting ready to do a bad thing.
Yeah?
Because he hates the idea of the president stopping the Cold War.
Because that's good business for him.
Exactly. So he goes and he talks to the doctor and is like, hey, Mr. Dr. Paul, the president wants to come over so that we can help him with some dreams he's having. And Paul's like, yeah, that's fine. We'll get Tommy to help out Paul. That sounds good. So then Bob goes to talk to Tommy and he's like, all right, Tommy, you killed your father. We know that. We know that now. That's revealed now. You, Tommy, killed your father, and I kind of... Did he cover it up? He didn't cover it up. He just took him under his wing, really.
Yeah, helped him out.
Yeah. And Tommy, what I'm going to need you to do, I'm going to need you to go into the president's dream and kill him in the dream. You're an assassin for us. Just like how you did with your father. You're going to go into the president's dream and you're going to kill him.
And he's like, oh yeah, sounds good, fam. There is a scene we discover first that he can kill people in dreams. Because there's an old lady who is having troubles with dreams, and he hops in there and does a little stabby.
Yeah, he kills this lady in her dream.
A little shankaroo in his sleep.
Because it's interesting, because if you die within a dream, it basically just looks like you had a heart attack. So it's kind of hard to link it to anyone in particular, as you might imagine. So yeah. Alex, he goes and meets up with the horror author again and basically confirms to this author that everything is happening. And they're talking away, where a bunch of Bob's men, mean-looking men, approach them, and they got to run away from him. So they go into this kind of like parade of people, like a graduation parade, and they're hiding in there, and the men come up and get him, and they kill the horror author. They just shoot him.
Got him.
Then they take Alex to go and meet Bob, and Bob reveals his plans to Alex, and is like, you got to work for us, Alex, or else you're going to die. But what Alex does is he jumps out of the car while it's driving, and he falls into the ground, and he does quite possibly the funniest thing I think I've ever seen, which is very slowly very slowly distract a motorcycle driver so that the motorcycle driver kind of swerves at the last minute, but he's going too slow, so the motorcycle just kind of falls over, and then the driver falls off it. Then Alex goes up to the driver and is like, you okay, Mr. Driver? And the driver's like, yeah, I'm fine. Why'd you do that? And then Alex just steals his bike.
Got him.
Then we get a little chase scene It's pretty good.
Yeah. Because he does a little phone call. He's like, ring, ring.
Yeah, he tries to warn them all about Bob's plans. I like this scene because he's in a payphone in the middle of a very, very empty parking lot, and this car is just pedal to the floor, flying towards the payphone, and it's a really cool visual as he has to then jump out of the payphone, then get on his bike, and we get a little chase, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I like because he bumps into the guy and the guy that was chasing him before, and he's like, hey, help me out and I'll get you winnings for
yes, the racetrack
for the races. And he's like, all right, 6 winnings. And he's like, 5 winnings. And he's done.
Yeah, the chase scene ends. Alex escapes these guys, which is pretty good. So then we cut back to Dr. Paul. He's talking to Bob with this new information he has, and Bob's like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to kill the president.
I've never killed him. What president? What? Where even is the president? What? There's a president here?
There's a president at all? I don't know about it.
What?
There's a president of America? I thought presidents were in other countries, not in America.
Yeah, what? I didn't even know he was here. What? He's sleeping over here. There's what? Crazy. You're talking crazy.
And Paul's like, nah, mate, I know what you're planning to do, and I don't like it, quite frankly. And I really like this line, because Paul says to Bob, you took something vital and you corrupted it.
And it's like, and you let me.
Oh, it's good.
And then the other guy's like, I know, and it shames me deeply.
Oh, that's a good moment.
Damn, that was a good scene. Too bad that guy cocks it.
Yeah, he immediately dies.
Yeah, he gets wrecked.
It's so good. Just those two great actors going head to head in that scene. It's excellent.
Yeah, it was good.
Then we see Alex sneaking into the building with Jane's help. They head into a room quite close to where the president is sleeping, almost next door to where Tommy is, getting ready to enter the president's dream and kill him. So Tommy and Alex, they both enter the president's dream. It's the same nightmare Nuketown that we saw before, except this time they're on a train. Alex goes to talk to the president on the train and is like, your life's in danger, Mr. President. I've got to help you.
And he's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm on the train to Nukeville. I'm like, chugga chugga choo choo. Nuke time.
It's weird for the president to say stuff like that.
He is on drugs at the moment.
He is on drugs, that's true.
Because they drugged him up. They gave him a sleep drug to keep him in the dream. And so he's like, wake up, Mr. President. And he's like, oh, but they gave me drugs to keep me asleep. And he's like, bugger.
Tommy rocks up, and so does a police officer out of nowhere, just rocks up.
Well, I think here's what happened. The president subconsciously got an officer to go
Yeah, probably.
get him. And Tommy's like, hey, it's me. I'm Tommy. Look at me. I run this town because I'm Tommy. And also, have any of you seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
It's not out yet, but it will be soon, and when
out,
it is
in
out,
cinemas. Go see it. It's a great movie. Shink, stab.
he grows super sharp, like nails, like fingernails, and just pulls the cop's heart out, which is great. And Alex is there going, Tommy, you sick bastard. And Tommy hands Alex the heart and is like, Alex, have a heart.
Have a heart, man.
Tommy just overacts like crazy in this scene, but I think that just makes it better.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they start battling it out. Alex grabs like a pipe and starts just wailing on him. But good old what's-its-face, Tommy Boy's like, hey, you know what would make this train better? If it was going faster. Pulls the lever and the train goes super fast right into this tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes all dark. And you see all these zombie boys. And Tommy, he's a zombie boy.
He is a zombie boy now. Because he can change his appearance. It's important.
Yeah. He can manipulate the dream at will. And he's like, hey, zombie boys, you see that boy over there? That's the president. He got you killed. He got you zombified. Let's get him. And they're like, well, okay, if you insist, I guess.
Well, how about we have a vote How about we just quickly have a vote between all our zombies? Do you want to?
Yeah. Who votes for murdering the president? All raise hands.
I guess I do. Yeah.
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 Oh, I guess we're all on board for this. They seem quite diplomatic for zombies. Kind of surprising, but good on them. They run at the president. They're like, "Hey, we gotta murder you. We diplomatically voted on it, and we decided this was the best course of action."
Woo!
And then they run away, get into the next carriage, but they turn around and, oh my god, Tommy's right there in that carriage already.
Except he's not just in the carriage. He's in the carriage and he's got a nunchuck.
And he's wearing a kung fu robe. What does he say? He's like, you guys ever seen Bruce Lee?
Yeah, he's always like, I watched Enter the Dragon 6 times.
6 times! Wow! And then he does some sort of fancy nunchuck movements.
And Alex just pulls in Indiana Jones and just punches him.
Yep.
It's great. I think he goes to choke Tommy, and so Tommy's like, I'm having none of this, and he changes the dream again and turns into the Snake Man.
The Snake Man, but it's not quite the same Snake Man. It's what he thinks Alex saw in the dream.
Yeah, so Alex got really scared by the Snake Man apparently, and keeps drawing the Snake Man in his notebooks and stuff. He does various drawings of the Snake Man, and Tommy got a hold of one of these drawings and bases the visual off the drawing rather than off the dream itself, which he wouldn't have known.
It's more humanoid. Its like face is like awfully humanoid and like It looks very much like a Star Trek alien.
Yes.
And so they run away into this sort of scrap yard, almost like destroyed building area.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a couple of wolves.
Oh, with glowing red eyes.
They glowing. We got the red eyes.
Red eyes, we're gonna chase after you. One of us gonna get electrocuted. Woo!
They do a bit more chasing. One of the wolves gets zaps and then just disappears.
Yeah, just gets electrocuted to death.
R.I.P. that wolf.
Yeah, poor wolf. But also, probably had it coming. But also,
Yeah.
poor wolf.
Shouldn't have had glowy eyes, idiot.
Yeah, what are you doing, wolf?
Can't see when you've got glowy eyes.
Turn your glowing
Your eyes
lines
weren't
off.
glowing so much. You would have seen the zap, you dum-dum.
So stupid, that wolf.
Then they get into the pile of this rubble. They deep into this like rubble cave, but they reach the end of it.
And they're like,
Uh-oh.
guess we've got to stand our ground. It's just like the nightmare before, where we got trapped in a room. We're going to have to face off against the Snake Man.
And you hear in the distance the Snake Man, he's going...
I watched Enter the Dragon 6 times. He's still saying that. I don't know why.
I love Enter the Dragon!
It's my favorite movie. Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, he's sick. Have you seen him?
And Alex and the president are like, oh, he's coming. We can hear him from a mile away. He's still talking
Yeah,
about
wow.
that movie.
Not very stealthy, but he just keeps talking about that. But then the Snake Man jumps up and bites him in the neck.
Oh, Alex got bitten in the neck by the Snake Man. No.
Probably venomous. Probably has a bit of poison in it.
But do you know what Alex can do? If Tommy can manipulate the dream,
So can Alex.
so can Alex. Alex just straight up heals himself, which is a cool visual as well. They kind of show it glowing.
Yeah, you see him looking at it, and then it sort of glows and
Yeah.
vanishes.
Which is cool.
And then he turns into Bruce Lee, and he's like, "Stop killing people!" And he's like, "Oh, Bruce Lee, please forgive me." Except it's not Bruce Lee; it's his dad.
No,
But
it's
he's like,
his dad.
"Oh, Dad!"
That
no,
would have
I
been a
murdered you.
great, like, if Bruce Lee was alive at this point, getting him
Absolutely.
in to cameo as himself would have been the best.
Hell yeah. But then he's like, "Oh, Dad!" And then he, like, shrinks a bit. Like, he's not as snaky. He becomes, like, half humanoid, half snake.
Yeah, so that he can talk.
Sorry, he's, like, 3/4 human.
Like, he can do expressions, he can talk, but his skin is still scaly.
Yeah, it's all scaly and weird.
yeah.
And then the president stabs him.
Yeah, and Tommy's dead.
Yep.
Stabs him right through the torso.
R.I.P. Tommy, Bruce Lee's biggest fan.
Then the president wakes up and is like, what happened here? Goes and confronts Bob, and Bob's like, what are you talking about?
What? I didn't even know you were here, man. What? When did you arrive? Prezi boy! You remember me? Oh, we should grab some drinks. Right after a quick nap, what do you say, friend? And the president's like, "Get away from me. I'm gonna get you."
Get out of my sight, Bob, is what he says. And Bob's like, well, fine then, I will. I'm out of here. and the president leaves. Alex goes up to the president as he's leaving and is like, "Hey, I helped you. That's pretty cool. Just so you know, Bob's probably gonna try and kill me now that I know everything that's happening."
And the president's like, "Oh, then I'll help you." And then he's like, "Nah, don't."
Yep. We just needed that exposition. The point of me telling you, Mr. President, wasn't to tell you exactly. It was to tell the people that are watching the movie right now. So I'm sorry for using you as that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to waste your time, but it's important for the narrative of the movie.
Has this movie ended yet?
No.
No.
We see Bob. He's, it's just a regular day. He's walking through work. He goes to an elevator, opens up the elevator, and Alex is there. And he's like, "What are you doing here? This is a very secretive building."
And Alex is like, "Yeah, but have you seen my face recently?" And he rips his face off, and it's a lizard.
Yeah, and he kills Bob in his dream.
He does a murder assassination on the Bob Man.
Anyway, let's rate it. What do you think?
I'm giving it a goodie. It was fun. It was enjoyable.
Definitely.
That's it. I liked Snake Man. I give it a Snake Man out of goodie.
Snake Man. Iconic.
Iconic Snake Man. It's really a shame that the audience scores are so low for this for no reason, really.
Yeah.
Like, there was so many positive ones that just rated it low. And I'm like, but why? Why are you doing that?
It should be rated more highly. And that's why I think people should go check this out. Dreamscape. Because I'm going to give it a goodie as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to criticize it. Like, the acting's really good. For this sort of movie.
Absolutely.
Just like Firestarter, the acting is way better than it should be. Good concept. Love the visual style as well. Love the dream sequences. So spooky.
There were really good dream sequences, which was the highlight of the movie, so they better be good. But yeah, they were very good.
Exactly. So 2 goodies from Dreamscape. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We did just spoil the whole thing, but you'll probably pick some things up that we didn't, because you're smarter than us. Listener,
Yep.
Did you know that? There's no sequels, so we got to come up with our own sequels.
So he becomes a part of this elite organization, all right?
Boy, okay.
That has these machines where they go to important people and they put the idea of something into the mind of this person. But he's the best of the best. Maybe not Alex, like some sort of new protagonist. But he retires. He doesn't want to do it anymore. But then they get him back in for a last heist.
Does he have like a protege, like an Ellen Page type?
Yeah. They got to get an Ellen. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
To get in there to help with the dream, because they need like several people. They need someone who's like an architect. They're designing the dream around them.
Oh, they've got to put in. They've got to become some sort of dream squad.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they're called. Some sort of
Some sort of dream squad.
What are we? Some sort of dream squad. That's what it's called. It's called Dream Squad.
Yeah, perfect.
It's original concept. Don't steal.
How does it end?
It ends on a cliffhanger with a spinning top because it's Inception.
Is it Inception made in the 80s so it looks like really bad?
Oh yeah, it's really bad. It gets barely any views. It does get a cult following though,
Nice.
unlike this movie, which is sad that this movie doesn't have a cult following because it's good.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Just like yours, I'm going to recast. I'm going to go for different characters. Bob's dead, but the idea of dream assassins still exists within the CIA. And they do have dream assassins that they are using to kill people, to kill their enemies around the globe, these dream assassins. And we follow one dream assassin who's kind of blackmailed into joining. And the dream assassin, he does his job for a while. He's not really questioning things until one incident where it's like he's starting to question whether or not he is doing the right thing. You know, he's going to assassinate someone and he realizes that, wait, this person didn't really do anything that bad. Why am I working for this organization and not questioning them? You know, it's quite dark. And so he teams up with a bunch of the other dream assassins and has to like overthrow this facility from the inside.
I like it.
And it ends with a spinning top.
Nice. Original.
Yeah.
Never seen that one before.
Except the question isn't whether or not it's in a dream. The question is, where did that spinning top come from?
Yeah.
It's just a spinning top at the end of the film, and it's like...
This hasn't been established at all during this movie.
What is this?
What does this even mean?
Yeah.
Spinning, okay, this doesn't make any sense.
It's just how it ends. So many questions. Raven reviews. I'm not excited for this. I'll be honest with you.
Yep, there's some alright ones. We won't do too many. This review's gone long enough, I feel. But
Definitely.
let's get into it. It's a dream. Bradley says, and this is what he says on the review on Rotten Tomatoes, and there's a score. Sandra has to guess it. That's how it works.
Yep.
Bradley says, Inception? ? Good stuff.
3.5.
It's 4 out of 5.
Oh, it is 4. Okay, well, 4. That's quite positive. Good on you.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, moving on to a completely different person. Brad says, great creepy movie.
And that's it.
That's it. That's the review.
This is the 3.5.
This is the 3.5. Well done. You picked up on it. Well done. Okay. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult now. Are you ready, Sandra?
I am not. Go for it.
Jamie says, I liked it when he fell down the hill. Which I don't... Did we mention that? It was in the chase scene.
Yeah, it's when he goes out of the car, he falls down a hill.
Yep.
It's classic stuff. Many a chuckle on my on my half.
Everyone's favorite scene.
Yeah.
Especially Jamie.
I reckon Jamie is gonna give it a 3.
It's a 4.
Whoa!
Nice try, though. 4 out of 5. It was close. All right. TTT. Bracket. Star. Bracket. : Thumbs up. Entertaining.
3 stars?
It's 4 out of 5. You were close. There was another one earlier that had bracketed stars as well. But it had the accurate stars. It was like 4 stars.
That's so weird.
4?
Why would you? Okay.
I don't know. Final one is Tim. He says, an oldie, but a goodie. Great story that hasn't really been done. Hasn't been overdone.
Hasn't been overdone. That's fair enough, actually. It hasn't been overdone, has it? This isn't the sort of story where, that's a good point.
What do you think you rated?
You know what? I'm going to go 3.5 again.
It's 4 out of 5.
Damn, so many
Nice
4 out of
try.
5. So many 4 out of 5s.
Yeah. I only chose reviews that I agreed with.
Maybe it's because I'm going to rate it 3.5, and that's why I'm thinking 3.5.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. There's one last review here.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's strange.
That's very strange. How'd that get there?
I usually end on an oldie but a goodie because, that's the name of the title. So Melanie.
Oh, it's going to say oldie but a goodie, isn't it?
Melanie says, an oldie but a goodie. There's 2 of them. I found 2 of them this week that said an oldie but a goodie.
That's because this movie is an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie.
Exactly.
What did she rate it?
I'm going to go 4 again, but I'm probably
It's
going to
2 out
regret
of
it.
5.
Oh, what? Wow.
I don't know. There was so many reviews that were positive that were rated super low. And I'm like, if you liked it, why did you rate it so low?
That's weird. Do you want some fun trivia?
I would love a little fun trivia.
This is fun trivia about the movie Grand View, USA.
Oh, yeah?
While filming in Illinois, the night of the demolition derby scene was shot, it was actually very cold. It was supposed to be during the summertime, though, so all the extras were hired to wear shorts and shirts, and a bunch of them ended up getting colds after the scene wrapped. It's a fun fact for you for the film that we didn't review.
Great.
Because there's no fun facts for Dreamscape.
There was a Snake Man.
The Snake Man.
He was a big fan of Bruce Lee.
Should I keep doing fun facts? I don't know. Let me know. You can email us, oldiebutagoodiepod@gmail.com. Just message me directly on Instagram if you want, or message our Facebook page. All of that there. We really should set up our own Instagram account. I'm starting to feel like we really should do that. And every week you make a picture where you put our faces somewhere in the movie.
Like on Snake Man.
Yeah, maybe we're both Snake Man. We'll think about it. That could be fun. Also, if you want to help us out, best way to do so is by telling a friend, or if the app you are listening to us on right now allows reviews, drop a review. And then send us a screenshot. We'll read it out on the show.
Yeah.
It's time for you to pick next week's episode.
I think you should pick it, seeing as it's your turn, Sandra.
Dang, fine.
Cloak and Dagger is a movie where an 11-year-old sees the murder of an FBI agent who hands him a video game cartridge with military secrets.
That sounds like a great idea. Good on you, FBI
What?
agent.
Okay. Why hide military secrets in a video game cartridge? Yes.
That genuinely sounds like the worst plan ever.
I cannot fathom.
Wow.
Red Dawn. Teenagers team up to survive as the US is invaded by the Soviets.
Red Dawn is Tomorrow When the War Began, but America.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Tomorrow when the war began.
That's the thing, right? We as Australians, Tomorrow When the War Began is an Australian book series. We as Australians always thought Tomorrow When the War Began was a super original idea, right? Mm-hmm. It's not. It completely rips off this movie from the 80s.
Great. I don't care. Red Dawn sucks. It's a bad movie.
It does suck. I agree with you. We're not doing it. What's another option?
Wheels on Meals.
That doesn't...
A
Okay.
Jackie Chan martial art movie about the owners of a mobile restaurant who find themselves in a gang war.
We're doing that.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Let's do Jackie Chan.
Woo,
100%.
Jackie Chan.
Are you going to do subs or dubs?
That's a good question. Because normally I always do subs.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's the correct choice. But dubs add a whole nother character to a Chinese movie in the 80s. So I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how I do.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Maybe one of us does subs and the other one does dubs.
You know, that sounds like a fun idea. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Which would you like to do?
Hmm.
Maybe we'll sort it out later. It depends how many copies of this movie we can find, I think.
Yeah, it depends if this is on
Might be
any
tricky.
streaming services or not. We'll figure it out. Cool.
I'm going to rate it a goodie. And you're going to rate it a goodie.
We're both going to rate it a goodie.
That's my verdict. Is that your verdict?
That's my verdict as well.
Heck yeah.
What? We haven't figured out what happens when we get these predictions wrong.
Yeah, what happened last week? I guessed you good, and then I guessed I would hate it.
I think you guessed that you would give it an oldie, but you'd like it?
I think that's what I guessed. I was wrong. It was just a goodie.
Yes. Two goodies
And
from
then-
us.
And then you guessed it was both goodies, or I would give it a goodie, and you would give it an oldie. So we both got it wrong.
We both got it wrong.
So no punishment this week.
What is the punishment going to be, though?
Watching this movie with dubs.
Okay. Well, thankfully, none of us have to watch it with dubs then.
Yay!
Hey!
But we might anyway. We'll see.
This is such a useless segment, but I love it.
Yep. All right. Your favorite quote, Sandro?
My favorite quote is, I love Benjamin Franklin. Discovered electricity, you know? Did you know that?
Yeah. That's a good quote. That's a great quote.
What is your favorite quote?
Blah! I'm a snake man. Blah! I love Jackie Chan. Blah!
What?
Snake man.
It was a weird quote from the film, kind of
Yeah,
like...
especially after talking about Bruce Lee for so long.
Yeah, it just... So I was talking about Jackie Chan, which is a movie that just happens to be coming out next week. Like, what are you doing, Snake Man?
Yeah, so weird.